are. That's how I found out about crystals. Funny, go funny.
Oh no, you're not dead yet.
One time, the Orlando Sentinel had me on the internet as teaching belly dancing. That's not true. I never taught belly dancing, honest.
Bit worried there's an obituary there. Do you?
All right. Like I said, there is a part 2, but I'm not going to go through it. Okay? And Microsoft has a whole bunch of built-in ad stuff. Okay? And if you have Windows 10, get this presentation from Barry and get a copy of it and go through it and make yourself invisible. To give you an example, Windows 10 will advertise right in here.
Right.
They'll advertise right in here. If you have Skype, they'll still say get Skype. If you use Microsoft Word, they'll still say get Word. And get these games. Now that's in-house advertising, but there is a way to shut it down. Take a look at part 2. All right, the other thing I did want to cover because it's important to people is how to save money on ink. Now, right off, let me start right off and say, I am not talking about anything but ink printers, okay? That's what I'm talking about. And if you don't have an ink printer, hooray. You know, but I print a lot, okay? And I brought a little show and tell. I'm going to go through this quickly, okay? Because Barry said I have to be out of here at 11:05, okay?
15.
Oh, okay, 11:15. Ink cartridges. They come in 2 different types. They come in a cartridge like this. Oh, by the way, you can see how much ink is in this. Isn't that cool? Yeah, because when you buy it, they don't show you. No! And they come like this. And notice the foam in there. Why did they put foam inside the cartridge?
Make it a little bit faster.
So they don't have to put that much ink in there. No, they put it in there because the print head is going back and forth inside your printer like this real fast, okay? And if you have a volume this size, and the ink splashes around, and then sometimes it won't print. So they put the foam in there for a good reason. If you have ink cartridges like this, and you want to refill them yourself, make sure your hypodermic needle reaches all the way down to the bottom, because if you're just putting ink at the top, it'll take 3 days to get down to the bottom. Up to 3 days. The print head, see this raised portion right here? Everybody see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the print head, okay? With this kind of cartridge, the print head is in the printer. And when you set this cartridge down, it punctures a hole in it. This is full of ink, I don't want to spill it. Okay? So, some cartridges have the print head on the cartridge, like these, and some of them have it in the printer. And their fixed head is made by Epson, Canon, and Hewlett-Packard, and the disposable by the other companies. This is a holder for the print cartridges in an Epson printer. And it's upside down so you can see the print head on the bottom, and this will hold 4 cartridges of this type. Okay? I highly recommend it if you need a printer. The printers are only good for about 3 years. Go buy an Epson and get one with 4, 5, or 6 cartridges. There you go. And oh, by the way, I was showing a gentleman earlier today. There is a I'm gonna talk about the chips on the front of the cartridge. The chips on the front of the cartridge tell you whether the cartridge is empty or full, okay? And here's a chip on the front of the cartridge that I took off of a cartridge, and it's got a battery in it. I'll pass this around, please make sure I get it back. It's got a battery in it. What do you think happens when the battery goes dead? It says the cartridge is empty. There might be 35% ink left in the cartridge. So what I'm saying to you is, no printer that I know of is made that has a float valve in the cartridge to tell you how much ink is in there. Like you have a float valve in your gas tank, you know, to tell how much gas is in there. They don't make them. The chip on the front of the cartridge says, when he prints, he or she, okay, when they print 25 pages, say you're empty. Or when you reach certain date, say you're empty. I know people will take an HP printer and change the date on their computer and continue to print. Oh yeah. Why? What are they doing? They're selling you a printer for $60 and they're selling you ink for $45.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Okay. Some are single color, some are three color. If you have a 3-color cartridge
That's what I have.
and you run out of ink in one,
You can't use it.
it's and you might have the other 2 completely full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't use it? No,
Nope.
you can't. It won't let you.
Nope, won't let you.
What manufacturer is that?
What is, yeah.
So the ink in the cartridge, and oh, by the way, usually when they send you a cartridge, you can't see through it, can you?
No.
If you have a cartridge like this, even like this, you can't see through it. It's all gray. You can't see what's in there, all right? This is how much ink they put in the cartridge when they put it in the shipping container with the printer. 7 milliliters of ink. That's on my plate. Joyce said, "What are you doing?" Okay, that's the average that they put in a cartridge with a new printer.
With one color or 2 colors or 3 colors? The whole ink or just one?
One, just one. One color, one color.
One color.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Every time your printer does a cleaning thing, it shoots a lot of ink through the print head, okay? And it goes into a spittoon. I'm serious, that's the terminology we use. The ink goes into a spittoon. I thought I brought a spittoon with me. Well, I don't have it with me right now. It's out in the truck. Oh, no, I have it there. Here's the spittoon right here. Okay, if you don't believe me, take your printer and turn it on and lift the cover up, and you'll see the head move off.
Yep.
Its resting place, you'll see where the spittoon is right under the resting place. And then it'll move back to the resting place. You'll see the spittoon under there. And the spittoon has a little hose on it, so when this thing gets full of ink, this thing right here, it goes down the hose, and it goes into felt or some other kind of stuff in the bottom of your printer. I'm serious. You take your printer and pick it up and turn it on its edge. You better do that over a counter you can wipe the ink up off of. I did it over a lady's carpet one day. I felt so bad. I went back a week later and it was gone. Okay? I don't know if she cut a hole in the carpet and put a new piece, but it was gone. All right? So how do you save money on ink? Well, first off, you can take a lot of printers and you can set up on your printer, print grayscale, print whatever, and I could tell you how, but there's so many different printers out there. You just got to go and find out. Again, you can Google it. You know, how do I save ink on my HP model number printer? And Wikipedia has a big article about saving ink. Okay? You can also use Century Gothic all of my presentations are done in Century Gothic font. And universities have done studies on all the fonts that are available, and Century Gothic wins, hands down. Don't ask me why. I'm just telling you, you can see these results on the internet. Also, every year, I'll get that in a minute. So here's the biggest key. Leave your printer on. Leave your printer on. Anybody in here agree with me?
I don't know enough.
Mine's on all
There
the
you
time.
go. I don't turn my printer off. Now, when Joyce and I go up to Michigan for 6 months, I'll turn my printer off by the method which, but when we're home, oh yeah, every time you turn your printer off, what do you think it does? Let me explain to you what it does, folks. It takes the ink that is in this portion right here and dumps it into the spittoon, because if you leave it in there, when it's turned off, it'll dry up, and then this cartridge is useless. And it's the same thing with the cartridge holder that holds 4, 5, or 6 different cartridges. Every time you turn it off, it shoots all the ink out of this upper portion here. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Well, you know, sit there. You want to run your printer out of ink? Sit there and turn it on and off. Turn it on and off. Pretty soon it's going to come up and say, "We're empty." Don't turn it off. Now, some printers lately, some of the new ones, are going to sleep. That's okay. Okay, and some of them will occasionally go through a cleaning cycle. You can't stop that. But if you turn your printer off, it's going to clean the print head and dump it into the spittoon, and then you've just wasted ink. Yep. Okay? There's nothing. You save more money on ink than you do on electricity. There's not a fan running in your printer. It's just a little green light that says I'm on. Okay? Every year, Consumer Reports has an article about printers. Every year. And they say the same thing over and over and over. And they'll tell you which printers are best. I like Epson's. I got an Epson Workforce 500. I had it for 7 years. I had to replace it because the rollers wore out. The things that rolls the paper around inside. Now I got an Epson Workforce 3620. And if you go to Epson.com or HP.com or whatever kind of printer you like and go to their remanufactured section, you can buy printers at 40, 50, 60% off that have been sent in by people because they didn't understand them, and they'll guarantee them just like they were brand new. That's where I buy my printers from. If you got to turn your printer off, power it down in accordance with the procedures. Do not just go over and unplug it. If the electrical storm is coming, power your printer down before you unplug it. There's nothing protects you from an electrical storm. Nothing protects you from an electrical storm. If you got lightning, we unplugged everything but the refrigerator. We got those LG washer dryer combination. We've got computers in the front end of them. You know. Find the internet source. As an example, my Workforce 500, 7 years I had it, and I refilled these cartridges, just like this. Where do you get them? Wherever you get them, on the internet, etc., make sure they have a what-if policy. If you're going down to the local store and let them refill your cartridges and bring them back, you need to ask them. If I bring the cartridge back after you refill it and it doesn't work, what are you going to do for me? That's a what-if policy, okay? This guy has a wonderful what-if policy. Izzy's his name. I have some of Izzy's cards. I've been dealing with Izzy for about 11 years now. Here's Izzy's card. You help yourself. ccs-digital.com. This is what Izzy's website looks like. Notice he has a phone number, he has an email address, and you can call him on the phone and he'll answer up. Okay? This is the other one. Now, oh, by the way, Izzy doesn't cover every printer made. He only covers printers that he can sell you a cartridge Average price, $5. Okay, you wanna know what I paid for this cartridge right here? $3. Times 4 colors, that's $12, plus $7 shipping, that's $19. And then you know what I do? I say, hey Izzy, you know what you need to do? Oh, you got the last one. Izzy, you need to send me some ink. So Izzy sends me some ink like this. Okay? Here is, those are my business cards. That isn't Izzy's cards.
Could you put the website up for us?
Yeah, I can go back.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on to this.
Are you listening? Look, I use these things right here. That's 100 milliliters of ink. How long do you think that lasts me? About 9 months. Seriously, okay? Here's an empty one. And what I do, okay, I can show you on this cartridge, but I'm not gonna pass it around, okay, is I take, because Izzy sent me this cartridge, it has the color of the ink right on the top. I take that little stopper out, okay? I'm gonna put it back in right now. I take that little stopper out. I take the bottle of yellow ink. I take the little top off. I turn it upside down. I stick it in that hole where the stopper was in, and I go squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And I fill the cartridge until not completely full. See it? Not completely full. I gotta leave a little room at the top. And then also on these cartridges, if you get them from Izzy, you'll see a white plug. You gotta take the white plug out. If air can't get in, ink can't get out.
What about that store, Ink for Life?
There's a lot of different programs. If you got a good